Hello and welcome to part number 2, which I've now changed to part number 2 of 3 of Purple Haze by Jimi Hendrix. Next week we're also going to look at the little lead runs that run into the solo, which we're also going to learn a couple of scales around, and I want you guys to have a little go at improvising your own solo over it. But the runs going up the solo are really cool, so I think it's really important we include them. Just because this song can cover a lot. We've got bar chords, we've got standard open chords, we have, our lead line runs. We've learnt the scale shape last week. We're going to learn that same scale shape only in a different position next week. So you can use those two scale shapes to solo with. We're also going to utilise one of the scales from your grade 1 book as well, which is going to be the E blues scale. So yeah, we'll be learning those lead runs next week. So this week is all about the chords in the song, and also a little lead run that runs you back into the chords for that chorus. So that's what we're going to be focused on. It's just 3 chords. We're going to be learning the Jimi Hendrix chord. Now, the real name for the Jimi Hendrix chord is, well, in this particular one, because we're playing it in the key of E, is the E7 sharp 9. But everybody calls it Jimi Hendrix chord, but the real music theory term for it, if you wanted to ask another instrument musician to play it, it would be an E7 sharp 9. And then we're going to be looking at the bar chords of G and the bar chords of A. You can do that in open chords as well, or 5 chords. But everybody that is watching this lesson, I would encourage you to have a little go at playing the bar chords. But like I say, I will be showing you 2 alternatives if you do find this a little bit difficult at this moment, so you won't need to, well, it won't stop you from being able to play the song basically. Okay, so let's get straight into it with the E7 sharp 9 chord. Okay, so everybody should have practiced what we learnt last week basically, which was the intro to the song. So I'm just going to play the last phrase in the intro of the song so you can see how this goes into the chorus. And then it goes into, and so on, which you saw me play at the start of this video. Now, that first chord that you're playing there is the Jimi Hendrix chord. Tends to be what people call it when they don't know the real name for it. The E7 sharp 9. So let's get into that now. We're going to be using all 4 fingers. And if you remember your B7 shape from grade 1, it's very similar to that. So what we're going to do is we're going to put our second finger on the A string 7th fret. That is an E note. I will say the note again as I'm going. We then have, so we know the build-up of an E7 sharp 9 chord. We then have our first finger on the 6th fret of the D string. We then have our third finger on the G string 7th fret. And then our pinky comes in on our 8th fret of our B string. Now with us playing an E chord here, you can incorporate your low E string and your high E string. If you were playing anywhere else, this wouldn't work if the E note wasn't in the key. So a few other places it would work. Let's say, for example, if you were playing a G7 sharp 9, you could still put the E notes in, because E is still within the key of G. But let's not get sidetracked. So you can strum all the strings for this, and the strum pattern is down, down, up, down, down. So best thing to do, especially with in your grades, you've got to be able to hear rhythms and lead lines be played to you and play them back. I'm just going to play this a few times. You can watch my hands strumming it, and I want you to listen out for the rhythm and translate that yourself. Okay, we're then going to go into a G major chord, but we're going to play a bar chord for this. So for a bar chord, you want your hand shape like this. keeping that first finger really straight, and you see the way my thumb is, it's going to tuck in the underside of my neck like that. And what that does is it pushes my fingers straight. If you allow any of those joints in your fingers to bend, that middle joint or the top joint, what's going to happen is you're going to create a little bit of an arch, and you're going to have buzzing because you're not fretting the note. You need to put your thumb in the underside of the neck like that. You need to straighten your finger out and press down nice and flat like that. Okay? Now, this is going to be really, really hard for people that haven't done this before. So, best thing to do is practice just doing the bar. Let me just have a fuzz pedal off so you can hear the clarity of the notes there. So you can see every single note's ringing out. Now what's happening when you're barring it there, you've now barred it. When you're in standard tuning and you play an E chord, that's open E. As soon as you bar that third fret, you're now in open G. So if you put your E major shape in there with that bar, you've got an G major chord. So I know it's the E major shape, but you're barring the third fret, which changes that E shape to a G major. We're then also going to go to an A major. So just slide along 2 frets till you reach that A note on your E string. Exactly the same shape. And you're playing the E chord there. Sorry, the A chord. So, how that goes together with your E7 sharp 9 or Jimi Hendrix chord is like this. Okay, so there it is. Now, we're also going to look at some other ways to play it, because there might be some people watching this that aren't quite at the level to be able to play a bar chord yet, which is fine. You can get exactly the same effect just doing your standard open chords. And for anybody on the upper grade 1 sort of level that's watching this, we're going to use the open chords of G, it's in your book, and the open chords of A, which is the first one in your book. I believe the G is 4th chord in the book. So, we know how to play a G chord. I'll say it on the video anyway, but do refer to your book. You have your second finger, 3rd fret of the E string. You have your first finger, 2nd fret of the A, and our 3rd finger, 3rd fret of our E. And then we're going to the A chord, which would be our open A, 1st finger, 2nd fret of your D, 2nd finger, 2nd fret of your G, and 3rd finger, 2nd fret of your B. So put that would be E7 sharp 9 chord. And that's the strum pattern for that section. Third way to do it is with 5 chords. So you know how to play a 5 chord, a G5 chord, which is your 1st finger, 3rd fret of your E, 3rd finger, 5th fret of your A, down, 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 and then move that exact same shape to the 5th fret. I'm now going to play it 3 times with each of those A major and G major shapes. So, bar chords first. Open chords. 5 chords. You can see all of them work. But the way he plays it in the song is with bar chords, so if you want to get it as accurate to the song as possible, that's the way you want to go about it. Okay, so what we're going to look at now is, after he stops, there's... He does that, and then back in the chords for the chorus. So let's look at that. Okay, so this chord section I just showed you, it does play through 5 times, okay? And then after the 5th time, you're just going to do 1 hit on our E7 sharp 9, the Jimi Hendrix chord, like that. So let me get my fuzz pedal back on, and I will play through. So 5 times, so 1, 2, 3, and then just hits one hit of that E7 sharp 9, the Jimi Hendrix chord. Right, then after that, before just starting to play the chorus chords again, he does this. So what are we doing there? We're working within that E pentatonic shape we should have been learning, that I showed you last week. So, he's playing what we played for the intro, so 3rd finger, 9th fret of the D. Sorry, before he gets into that, he's doing this. Which is your 1st finger, 7th fret of the B string, 3rd finger, 9th fret your G, and then 1st finger, 7th fret your G. And then for that part, what we're going to do is we're going to slide up the G, but we're not even going to pick the note. We're just going to slide up like this. So, and then back down, and we're going to slide to the 7th fret of your D string. So. And I'm just doing a little mute there as well, so. And then after you play the 7th fret, the 9th fret of your D string, we're going to play the 7th fret of your G, and then the 8th fret of your B. Do that slide again, and repeat. Just like that. And then you're back at the chords for the chorus. So if you want to see that in its entirety, you can always go back to the start of the video, and once you get used to the chord shapes and switching between them quickly, and any of the free variants that you want to pick, you can then have a go at playing along with me at the start of the track. So we'll look at part 3 next week, which is going to be those main lead lines going into solo. We'll look at 3 different scale shapes that we can improvise with, and that'll be the end of the study on Purple Haze by Jimi Hendrix. So I hope you've enjoyed that one, and I'll see you guys next week.